Hey guys, JH, welcome to the practice tee. Okay, moving forward. Starting to really cement the foundations of the Da Vinci Code swing into place. So we have to have the real building blocks, the baselines, understood and conveyed by me as I see it at the moment. Okay, so we're bicep curling here. Now what we want to do is we want to have a nice turn when we bicep curl, and we want to try and work as a feeling around this lead axis, which is from here down through that left leg, left hip, so that we feel like we're loading here. We're not rolling off it into the backswing over here. Very much that lead axis. So we've got to, what do we feel? We have to feel like we've got a predominance of an address structure on that lead side, on that lead axis. That's precisely what we have to feel. We've got to feel that. Yeah. Because what can happen, guys, is that you're so, preoccupied with doing a bicep curl and getting, or a tricep curl, whatever one you want to do, but doing this and the trail side being the dominant factor in all the bodily responses, that you forget about this lead side. And it's very easy to do that and not turn at all. Now we don't want to do that, because A, it's going to play havoc with your timing, and it'll also affect your power, because there's just no coiling and no storage. So we've got to make sure that in curling, bicep curling, we maintain the connection. Somebody asked about pressure. What sort of grip pressure have I got? Probably about a 4 out of 10. It's an individual thing, guys. Just what you need to promote a nice free wrist hinge and nice lively fingers. We don't want to crush the golf club so the fingers are just totally almost immobilized with tension and crush factor. We want to have that, but we don't want to be so loose that we don't have any ability to control the golf club. We don't want that. So it's a balancing act. The trail arm, what do I feel in the trail arm? I feel that this is very soft. The shoulder's soft, everything's soft. But having said that, I've still got some commitment to adhering that trail elbow and that upper trail arm to the body, so there has to be a little bit of tension, or what I call positional or set tension, because we've got to set that in there, and we have to push it in. So if I set a scale of 1 to 10, how much do I push in there? Probably a 4, maybe even a 5, but because I want to get enough positional pressure in there to keep it there. That's what I have to do. So they're the numbers, guys. The fingers, we want the fingers to be lively, but we want them to be able to be fired and sped up. We want that wrist to be able to fire as well. And you can't do that if it's really tight. Now again, the lead side over here. I said, probably a couple of weeks ago that I feel like I'm 100% thinking as a feeling, and as a facilitator for setting the golf swing, that I'm totally trail side orientated. So it's basically all this, and the trail side is pulling the lead side into submission and into position. Now that still happens, but I've got to tell you that I've actually evolved a little bit with the process, and I'm actually getting that lead side into the equation now. Here. I'm actually pushing this across a little bit. I'm staying here, but I'm trying to get that lat and that shoulder moving around as a coil. And I'm still trying to keep adherence in the lead arm. Now what is important, guys, in order to get the fold that you want and the nice set, is this lead arm's got to really be soft. And believe it or not, it's got to be soft in the wrist, on the backswing, and the elbow joint, and here. It's just really a soft mechanism. If you do that and just flip your hands, you'll get the ratio of softness that you need to have in the golf swing if you just do that. If you've got a nice mobile wrist there, and this is coming up okay, that's about the amount of tension that you need there, or the lack of tension that you need to create. If you can bend your arm a little bit, great. I'd love to be able to bend my arm. I'd love to be able to do that, which is what I do in my practice swing, but I don't do it in the golf swing because I've hit millions of golf balls, millions and millions of golf balls with an extended arm. So that's the difficulty. That is the great difficulty for me. And I've got a much more ingrained program of not bending my lead arm than I have clearly of bending it. So that's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to soften a lot of the stuff, but we're also going to have some commitment to this lead side here as a dominant axis on the backswing. So we basically want to be here, guys. We want to go here. Okay, I've got a bent arm there, but I don't have that in the golf swing. But I want to feel that. That's actually a good precursor drill to feel that. Now so I feel like I'm loading here. This hip's getting out of the way, and the arm's going here, and the shoulder quadrant, this trail shoulder quadrant, is basically setting itself up. It's building the firing force. Now, once we've got to the top of the swing with this in line here, and we've got that predominance there, and we're in here, as we hit the fourth ball back here, because we're firing our release early, here we want to be here and we want to be connected here. Now guys, as we're moving in here like that, look what's happening here. As I'm moving that in there and throwing that in there, this is moving here, and you want that. You want a bit of secondary tilt. I don't teach secondary tilt normally, but you want a bit of secondary tilt in this golf swing as we're coming in. As we're firing this in here, in order to fire it in and keep this quadrant here as an attack unit, very hard to fire that in there as an attack unit if you're moving forward laterally with this upper body. You don't want that. You actually want a little bit of this. This lead foot is pushing into the ground. It's actually starting to straighten. It's pushing that hip behind us there, and that's going to give us that bit of secondary tilt here. That's exaggerated, but that's what I want to feel. These are all the important little intrinsic atomic particles of Da Vinci Code. Now, in terms of the grip, I've always had a very, very neutral grip and a very, very weak right hand, or just neutral right hand and over here and not much going on. But I've actually strengthened my grip, believe it or not. I've got that left hand over more, I've got the thumb more behind the shaft, and I've got the right hand or the trail hand under the shaft more. I don't know, it just gives me a feeling of being able to set up a little bit easier with the closed positioning that I want with the shoulder girdle. That's just a preference thing. And it certainly gives me a really strong hit on the ball. So this is what we want, guys. We want to load here, turn that shoulder across a little bit, and then fire it. You'll feel a little bit of backward tilt as you hit it. It's still so humid here today. I've always said that one of my next designs, technical design things in hardware in golf, is going to be a grip that will give you maximum traction in all types of weather. And I know what it's got to be. I just haven't had the time to put it together, but I know what it is. Because I've never had a grip that I've ever liked. And since I've gone, like in the last 18 months, to not using a glove, you really need something that's really tacky in the grip. Okay, these are cords, but it's so humid and it's still hard to hang on to. Okay guys, so here we are. The maintenance here. So if you push back this way, that'll help you keep that lead side connection. Well, we don't want that overdone to the extent that we'll be hitting full shots and looking like that, because you won't get any power. You've got to have some separation by way of inertia. But generally speaking, we want to get on that lead side there, here, and then here. So they're just the little bits. And guys, the throw is like that. I had my buddy here yesterday and I said, and he was having trouble releasing it, and I said, you've actually got to feel in your mind that the toe's doing that through the ball. Won't do that, although I've seen pictures of Lee Como where he is like that. So that's how much he throw releases it. And of course he's on the outside of the golf ball. If you want to be on the outside of the golf ball, great. I do that when I think about it. So if you have to promote that, if you had to promote that, what would you have to do? That's the way I always teach. If you get that end product there, what have you got to do as a precursor, bodily, anatomically, to get there? There we are, finished. How did we get there? And look through the, as we come here and we fire it down, look what you've got to do to get there. You've got to really fire that hand, you've got to fire those fingers. We've got to be our curveball in the softball pitch. But what I've noticed, guys, in terms of power, and I've only been hitting, half shots, 5/8 type shots, maybe a couple of 3/4 shots, but I haven't been into the full stuff yet. But what I've noticed is that in those half to 3/4 shots, this here really is giving me some real forward velocity with the shot. Now the other thing, guys, we haven't talked about much, but we will, is the doorknob, is the fan here. It's not a fan that way, it's a fan that way. It's like you're saying hi to somebody. Hey there, hey there. All those things you see in the back windows of Mexican cars that are doing this. Oh, we have them here in Australia too. And they're not Mexicans. But that action, I actually had one of those in my car when I was young, so I might have a bit of Mexican in me. I had some awful things on my car when I was young. When I look back, I think I must have had an entirely different brain then, and it was just not what it is today. So here we go, guys. We get up here, we're going to fire it down, we're going to push back on this side here. Wow, that's the first hit of the day, guys, and that's just absolutely bombed. 5-iron? No, it's not. It's a 6-iron, sorry. Absolutely bombed that. The new M2 irons came out this week in America. These are the current ones. The new ones look fantastic. They'll have to be good to beat these. I just think these are unbelievable. Yeah, so guys, I want you to be able to see a little bit of that load on the left side. See here, I'm pushing back. Feels like Feels like a throwaway and a pushback. Just get that shoulder across a little bit. Now when you're practicing, you want to try and feel or try and achieve the club finishing here, there, over there and down, rather than here and up, because you really haven't released it hard enough if it's up there. It's got to be down more, which I'll do. That's where it's got to be, guys. Look, here, because now I've got the connection on this lead side. You hit a flat draw, but it's quite a nice shot. It's actually quite a nice shot. That's beautiful. Look at this. Here. Okay, the club's up. It's up, but the hands are low. The hands are low. Now, that's a really good evaluating mechanism for you. Have a look at your finish. If you finish like that here, that means you haven't done that. You haven't covered. You haven't thrown that toe over. You can't have done that if you finish like that. So guys, there's always indicators. It's post-impact golf swing positions that give you the indicators what you did pre-impact. So this time we'll try and get the toe over here. That's better. Okay, they're just learners. They're just up from a baby step. They're not a 3/4 step, but they're up from baby steps. But you've got to get that feeling in that limited, restricted range of motion before you can get it in a full golf swing. So here we go. So we'll try and stay on the lead side here. Oh, that's perfect. Wow, that's good. Now I've really got this, guys. I've really got the pushback here. That feels like that. That really feels nice. I could play with that. As my buddy, the pro yesterday, Stuart Williams. And Stuart was a good player in his day. Played a lot of tournaments. Won a lot. You know, did really well on the senior circuit. Won some tournaments. Shot some really low numbers. And played, you know, back in the days of Greg Norman, played with the big names. He was a lot older than, no, I don't know what Greg is. Greg's probably 65 these days or something. Stuart's 71, so. But he was a good player, and still is. But at his age, he's still looking for something that's going to give him consistency. Okay, we'll see if we can turn here and get this axis here going. So good, guys. That's so good. And the other thing, of course, is if we can slow all that down. If we can just slow all of that down. That's slowed down about 1/100th of a mile an hour. But I mean, they're good shots. I mean, they're all good shots. Okay, they're restricted and they're abbreviated, and that's what they're supposed to be, because we're learning. I want to have a little bit more lead side here and a little bit more shoulder coil. That's beautiful, that. Wow. That gives me much more height. But see, guys, it's just a little bang. A little wham bam, thank you, man. Whoosh. Here we are. And see, there's no big chunkers. Stuart, my buddy, he's always been a real clamper of the golf ball, even with 2 irons, just to take divots that long, because he was always here, bowed left wrist and down on top of it. And he said yesterday, even with some of the wedges that he was hitting off camera, he said, I can't believe how shallow my divots are. They've gone from pork chops to bacon strips. Oh, that's the best shot today, guys. That's good finish here. Still got that up there. So the good thing is I've got about 50% more finger throw that I can put into the swing. But that's nice. They're nice shots, and it's great now that I can come along, now that I'm becoming more confident and more proficient, and I'm building a little bit every day, that I can have a session where I could just hit first shot is a good shot, and then they're just good shots. And I've got a really bad back. That's the one thing I'm thankful for the warm weather. Tiny little swings. Just hit a couple this way. Always scares me hitting it towards the camera. But you'll be able to see this, guys. Oh, gee, that's a good shot. Oh, you're not that good, JH. You are not that good. Yeah, what's amazing, really, and I go on a little bit, I'm prone to go on a little bit, but when you see a shot like that, off such a little base, you think, how did that happen? How did I get such nice flight? How did I get such good distance? And how did I get such good impact? And it feels like it's a tiny little golf swing. That's as good as, I promise you, now I'll make a big statement. If I could hit the ball like that for the rest of my life, I wouldn't change. And that's a little half, three-quarter swing. But I would never want to hit it any better than that. Because that's normal length for a 6-iron normal flight. And it's just absolutely blitzed off a tiny little swing. It doesn't hurt my back. Someone asked on the forum, on the channel, is this better for your back? Let me tell you guys, it is absolutely better for your back. I've got a very sore back, and this is not hurting my back at all, hitting these shots. So yeah, if you've got a lower back problem, do this. Getting a lot of throw on that. Okay, I'll just try and amp it up a little bit, or just make the swing a bit longer. There it is, guys. Look at this. I'm back. Oh, that hurts my back when I do that. But I'm back here, so I'm firing those fingers away. I'm firing those fingers away, guys. You've got to fire them away. Now, you can't fire them away if you go forward. How do you fire them away? You have to have something to fire away from. That is elementary, dear Watson. You must have a position or an anchor to fire away from. If you go with it, you can't fire away from it. Okay, one more. That's as good as old JH has ever hit the golf ball. I've never hit it better than that. Honestly, guys, I've never hit the ball better than that. Ever, with any golf swing I've ever had in my life. Never hit it better than that. Not once. That's as good as I've ever hit the golf ball. Even at the best when I was doing my Mo Norman, and I could really hit it. And that's the best contact. Okay, one more. You've got to hit another one after that, JH. Guys, that's 30 feet higher than the other one. Okay, this has been a fantastic session. Little bits. And you've got to play this a couple of times and pick up the little bits, because they are just the little atomic particles. And you've got to look and say, okay, now I know what he meant. Because you look at this and go through it once, and it'll just float away. So you go back and look at it, yeah, bang, that little bit. So here it's this, today. It's the toe going here. It's the tension factors. It's the load on the left side here, or the lead side. Here. These are all really good things, guys. And I'll give you some updates on Stuart Williams, the pro. He's going to come back next week, and he'll have had a week doing it, so it'll be interesting to do a little blog with him, a little vlog. Okay guys, have a look at that, and we'll do some more tomorrow.